All right, so my 5 best tips that I could give anybody if they're just getting into tree saddle hunting and that sort of thing. They want to be comfortable. Is it comfortable? Is it not comfortable? Can I really shoot 360 around the tree and all that stuff? I'm going to tell you my 5 most popular tips that I could possibly give you to stay comfortable for an all-day sit. First and foremost, take your doggone bridge when you get up in the platform, and I might get up in there and show you all that in a minute. Take your bridge and play with it in the while you're in the platform. Play with it. Slide that thing down to the bottom of your loop right here, your connecting points. Slide it all the way down to the bottom. Feel where the pressure is back here. Okay. Find your happy medium, your favorite spot. Mine, I've used the same spot so long that it kind of has a groove in my connecting points on my saddle, so I know where mine is, right? And that right there gives me, if I'm sitting or standing, it gives me the perfect pressure on my back, my legs, my upper back, lower back, my legs, everything. So that's one tip. Go through your saddle and move these ropes around, and because every time you move it, it gives you a different position, puts pressure on a different part of your body. Maybe you want the pressure on your feet. Maybe you don't want it on the back of your legs. Maybe you want it on your back. Who knows? That's on you. You can also, at the same time, say your tether's around the tree, you're hooked in, okay? You want to see where your tether is, whether it be at chin level, at forehead level, maybe you want it above your head. It's all up to you and your comfort level, okay? But you can take and adjust that. Maybe you want it down here, maybe you want it up here. Every time you move it, it's going to put pressure on a different part of either your legs or your feet or your back or whatever. That's where the pressures are going to be. So that's the first tip, is to adjust all your ropes to suit you and your needs, okay? Second tip, to make tree saddle hunting easier and better. When you do your steps, get you an aider. Don't go to the store. I didn't. Don't go to the store and buy you a $200 set of aiders for all for you. I use some 550 cord with a little rubber tubing, if you can see that. And I made it about 1.5 feet long to give me an aider. I bought a whole roll of 550 cord for about $10, and a roll of this tubing for about $10. Okay, so $20, and I got my 4 aiders plus enough that I helped my buddy get him some aiders. Okay, so put your aider on there. That's going to give you some more distance without having to buy a $200 set of steps. Okay, so that's trick number 2. Okay, another tip. You're going to want to sit down at some point. You're going to get tired of standing the whole time, especially if you got a long sit. Maybe you're out of state or something, and you plan on doing all day sits, which is very possible in these tree saddles. Very possible. But you either want some knee pads or a little pad like this. I got this pad. It goes around the tree and attaches so it stays there. The reason I got this pad, and I can put my knees against that, and it's nice and soft and cushiony. It's just a foam pad, and it's made by Grit. The same, my stand, my steps, my saddle, everything I got is made by Grit. I think so far that's the best company I've found. I've tried about 4 different tree saddles out, or tree saddle companies, but as you can see, that's just made by Grit. Just a nice foam pad. Or maybe you don't want to tote this around, something extra to tote around, get you some knee pads, and you can walk in with your knee pads. The reason I don't use knee pads is because I don't like them straps going around behind my legs. Kind of makes your back of your legs sore if you're walking for a long distance, or if you're going to sit all day for numerous days in a row. Your legs, where that strap goes behind your legs, probably going to get a little sore. So I got this right here. Now, if you're only going to hunt 1 or 2 days, maybe a Saturday, Sunday weekend hunt or something like that, you'll be fine with knee pads. I like this right here for them all-day sits. That thing goes against that knee, whoo, you can almost go to sleep. Okay, number 4, you're going to want to have plenty of carabiners. You can never have enough carabiners. I got them everywhere to hang stuff and all that stuff. So my tip for this is take you some velvet tape. Mine just so happen to be camouflage, but they make it in black and just plain green. But take you some velvet tape and wrap all your carabiners. That way you ain't hear the difference? That versus that. You might not can tell on camera, but there's a difference. That way you ain't clicking all the time, making all that noise. That right there is gonna make you silenced. The more silenced you can be, the less you're gonna spook the game, the more you're gonna kill. Y'all all know that. I ain't gotta tell y'all that. So that was number 4 on the tips, okay? Lastly, number 5, probably my favorite tip, the best tip I got when I got into this is right here on my tether and on my lineman both. Where I cinch it to the tree, it comes factory with a press-it cord, like this right here. That right there is a press-it knot, okay? It's just a little cord that wraps around there for a safety or for a stop. Go ahead and spend your money and get you these aftermarket gongs or gibs or just safety, whatever you want to call them. In the fire department, we call them gibs. They're just safety stops, okay? That is going to save you so much time and effort and everything. And the way it works is it just opens up. It's got teeth right there, and it opens up and it grips your rope. So when you got this thing wrapped around a tree like that and you're hooked into your bridge and you want to loosen that thing or tighten it up, if you want to tighten it, you just grab this rope and pull it like that, and it goes and it stays. If you have a press-it cord on there, you're going to have to keep both sides of your rope tight. So I ended up biting it, keeping this side tight, and then holding this one tight with my hand, and then I took my hand and slid that press-it cord up. It was a pain in the yin-yang, okay? I got me some of these. This is the cheapest one that they make. It's $45. You can go up to $60, $70 set of them, but you got to buy one for each, one for your tether and one for your lineman, unless you don't mind swapping them over. So I just bought 2 of them because I got a tether and I got a lineman. I put one on each rope. Easy peasy, 45, $100. I got 2 of them, and that's the cheapest ones they make, okay? None of this stuff is gonna be real cheap. And if I had to give y'all one extra tip, saying that, if I had to give you one extra tip number 6, okay? Don't go cheap off the bat because you don't want to spend the money. Trust me, you're gonna get what you buy. You're gonna get what you pay for, okay? And if you go cheap, say on your saddle itself, okay? Say you go cheap on your saddle, and you just get a mesh back with no pockets. Well, what you're gonna have to have? Pockets. So now you got to go back to the store and you got to buy more pockets and attach it to your doggone saddle. Say you don't get those little safety clips that I said, then you got to wrestle with your doggone press-it cord, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be a fun experience and none of that stuff. If you go get all cheap everything, yeah, you saved $150, okay? But at the end of the day, you're going to be going back and buying that stuff later on because you realize how much more comfortable and how much more easier it was. So just go on and save up your money. If you can't buy it this year, ain't no big deal. Or maybe you got to buy it in parts. Maybe you got to buy the saddle right now, save up for a month or 2 and get something else, whatever, until you can go hunting in it. Do that, I'm telling you, because you're going to wish, you're going to go back and go, man, that darn Out Here Outdoors fella, he knew what he was talking about because I bought this and I ain't happy with it. Well, then you're going to hate saddle hunting because you're uncomfortable and it's taking you too long to set up and all that stuff because you didn't spend the money in the long run. Go ahead and spend the money, even if you have to save up and buy each piece individually before you go to the woods. That's what I had to do. I bought the saddle. A couple, 2, 3 weeks later, I bought my little external safeties. A couple, 2, 3 weeks later, I bought a whole 10 pack of these carabiners, which was $100 because these are the real deal repelling carabiners. A couple weeks later, bought the platform and all that stuff. But I done it months ago before deer season because I knew I was going to want to saddle hunt this deer season. So I done all this stuff. I started like in March, April, buying little bits and pieces here and there, and so it didn't hurt so bad. But I think all in all, I got a platform, I got 4 set of steps with aiders, my whole setup. I even have a backpack. My entire setup cost about $850. Okay, you can go more expensive, you can go least expensive, cheaper, not least expensive, cheaper. You can go cheaper. Like I said, I bought mine in pieces because I'm not rich. I'm just like you guys. I couldn't afford all that stuff at one time. So I started at the end of turkey season going ahead and I think I bought this first. I think I went back and bought my platform later on. This platform is $185. These steps are $180. This grit workhorse, the actual saddle part, which comes with your ropes and everything, it was $319.99, something like that, $350. Went back later on, got my cushion. Once I sat in it a couple times and put my knee against that tree all day, I was like, you know what? I'm finna go get that cushion. I think it was $25, something like that. But anyway, it all adds up. And if you buy it all at once, it can hurt pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? It can be $800 to $900 for this setup. Now, again, you can go cheaper. You can probably get a setup that's gonna take longer to set up. It's gonna be not what you want. You could probably get one and be hunting for about $400 to $500. You can do that. but you ain't gonna be happy at the end of the day. Just save up your money, buy it in pieces like I did, and by hunting season next year, you'll be rocking just like this. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Hope these 5 tips help out and make you a better hunter and more successful. Out here outdoors, we appreciate y'all.